found a lonely little Ferguson
I
tractor.
went to help you. Yeah. Well, this is a good gig then.
All right, welcome to the planning board, Wednesday, February 26, 2020. I see it's 7 o'clock, so I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Just so you people are aware, we are being recorded for via Chelmsford Telemedia. If anybody's in the audience that's recording would like to know, other than that, I guess we're ready to get rolling here. How many folks do we have here tonight?
We just have enough, but we've got 2 A&Rs and a review and sign. The UPS has been pulled.
Yeah. You could, they revised. All right, well, 16 and 16A Pleasant Street, A&R. Request endorsement.
There should be paper copies in the file for the board.
How you been?
I'm good, how are you, sir? I'm seeing you again.
See, this is Pleasant Street.
Shall I start?
This guy? Pleasant, yeah.
Do we have,
Do you have anything to read in there, Mike?
Let me see. I don't see anything that requires reading here.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Well, good evening, thank you very much. My name is Jerry Foley, and I'm here in an official, unofficial capacity. I'm retired now, but this is my brother-in-law and his daughter, David Upton and Tabitha. So as you look at this plan, it looks a little convoluted, but I was the engineer of record back when this first got started in '88, working for Richard Comiskey at the time. Basically what happened is Mr. Upton, Donald Upton, agreed to subdivide his parcel, which was oversized, into 2 Form A lots, so that David could build a house on the property. And he did that. And subsequent to building the property, we did a subdivision, got a Form A signed for that. And then they put the driveway in the wrong place after the fact, but it's still in the family. And so what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to rectify the property line so that it follows the lines of occupation. There's a fence line out there that surrounded a pool, which has been since taken out. And there was one other plan of record that was put in to take care of a property line problem there was on the left side of 16 to straighten out the property line. And that was done in '91, I believe. So there have already been 2 plans on record. So what we're hoping to do now, Mr. Upton passed away last May, and the house, his house was sold to Tabitha, and so it's still all in the family. But we thought that this would be a good time to rectify the property line situation, so that now the property line meets the lines of occupation, and the fence is on the right side of the line, and the driveway is on the property. And we also created easements where the 2 driveways converge, and so there can be some overlap there in the event that someday, if it does sell to somebody outside the family, we'll have that problem all squared away. So that's basically what we're looking at.
So, if you don't, you're moving this line over to the left and coming back down to the front.
Correct.
And there's 110 feet for the frontage of the,
Yeah,
On the left?
we're not changing, we're not altering the frontage at all. The frontage is staying the same.
okay,
It's just a transfer of Lot 2C from one to the other,
Correct.
and you'll be,
Still meet the minimum area requirement and meet the offsets for the buildings.
to see?
any questions anybody have for the plan?
No.
I move we grant a determination of A&R.
Second?
With no determination as
Determination
to
of
zoning.
zoning. Thank you very much. You're all set.
Yeah, I know, I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Same here.
When you said Jerry Foley, it all came back.
So the original is, you have the original, correct?
I hope so.
Yeah.
They would have it down in the office.
Okay. And just pick that up at a later date, or?
Who has it, Mike? Who's gonna?
Was the, the original?
He just asked if we pick it up at a later date, or?
Is it here?
I don't think so. Are you talking
The Mylar?
Mylar? Maybe.
You got it, what the heck? There it is.
Click it.
You have the magic pen?
Get the magic pen. Do they have a line on here for me to
Yeah, yeah.
sign? There we go.
Does it say no
No determination with
No
respect to zoning.
determination.
Yep.
somewhere?
No 2 minutes, yep. Another
That
one
one's
here.
probably the second A&R.
Yep, we'll leave that one right out here.
We're good to go?
Okay,
He
I'll put
can
this
leave with
back.
it. He can leave with it.
You can leave with it?
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Sure, our pleasure.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good seeing you. How's everything? You look happy.
Thanks again.
It does that to you.
Bye, Jerry.
All right, next up is another A&R, 23 7th Lane. Quality Greenhouse Homes LLC.
All right, let me see what I've got here. Looks like I do have, okay, what have I got here? Procedural history.
I believe that's a zoning board variance decision.
This is a variance decision. I don't think we need to read this into
Not
the
need to
record,
read
but
it.
we need to note that it's there.
Correct.
Okay.
We have a variance dated December 18th, 2019. Some more history. Here's the package cover. Sorry.
As you're passing them out, Mr. Chairman, if you could lend me one, because I was out of the office all day today. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're in a short crowd today, so they're on plenty supply.
Just indicate when you're ready, and I'll go over it with you.
I think we're ready.
Very good. My name is Jeffrey Brem. I'm with Quality Green Homes. I'm the manager. This is property right along the town line on Parkerville Road. It turns into South Chelmsford Road in Westford. It's the last property in Chelmsford against the 4-H grounds. So as you're looking at the plan, to the top is the 4-H grounds, and you'll see the lot boundary shown. This plan was done by Whitman and Bingham and not Myers de Brem. You've seen me before. I have an engineering and survey company, but when I purchased this property, it was already surveyed by Whitman and Bingham, so I just hired them to do the plan. Previously, there were 3 buildings on this property. They're shown, 3 buildings and some outhouses. There was a trailer on this property, and we went for a variance with the Board of Appeals, which you saw is in the record. It went to a couple of meetings, actually 3 meetings, because the neighbor in the back, Mr. Baker, which he's at number 24 7th Lane, we share that, this property shares the driveway, which is not a private way, between the 2 properties, but it was never properly recorded or no easements were given. They just shared that roadway. And there were 3 houses on that plan. We had proposed to, under state law, and I'm not an expert on this, but just for history, we're going to put 3 buildings on there with 3 different lots, using Chapter 6, I think, of MGL at 48. Long story short, Mr. Baker didn't want that plan. He didn't want us to use the roadway. It was something that he's been plowing, taking care of, and paved, and this property had been using it for probably 100 years. But he wanted something else, so he objected to the plan with the Board of Appeals. We went to several meetings. The big issue was whether the buildings were abandoned or not. All kinds of evidence was submitted both ways, and basically we told the Board of Appeals, let us go back and see if we could work something out with the Bakers, and we did. So the good news is the Bakers and I, they wanted basically 2 lots as opposed to a quote condominium. And they wanted the driveway for the 2 lots to be on the opposite end against the Middlesex 4-H grounds. So we did that, and we signed an agreement between the 2 of us. It's a private agreement, but it basically says they would support dividing the land into 2 and support the variances that would go along with it. The Board of Appeals was in a difficult position as well because there was pretty clear evidence that the 3 buildings were there, and they would have to give some kind of a decision on it, probably in my favor. So when we came back to 2 lots, and everybody was in favor, and there was other abutters there as well, they went ahead and issued the variance. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. Mr. Baker got what he wanted. We're not using his driveway anymore. We've got a permanent easement, and you see that on the plan. It's on the upper detail there. That's his 20-foot wide, 10-foot wide access easement. That's his. The road is split, by the way. The driveway is partly on this property and partly on the Baker's property. So now we will not be using that. He will have a full easement to it. We're putting a 20-foot utility easement so that we can get water and sewer to the 2 lots. So those are the 2 easements. There's already a sewer easement goes over that same area as well. It's shown down below. That's an existing easement that the town put in. So it's just to divide the 2 lots. We got our variances for frontage on both lots, area on lot 1, and side yard setback. I'm sorry, we meet all the side yard setbacks. So just the frontage and area on lot 1 and frontage on lot 2. And that's in the record. Which brings me to this plan, which will actually divide it up. This will get recorded, and the agreement that we had and the easements that we had are going to reference this plan once it's recorded, so it'll all be documented very well. There's been lawyers on both sides. Phil Iliopoulos represented the Bakers, Doug DeShane represented myself, so it's all documented, ready to go. I'm actually surprised Phil's not here. It's a sentiment that we've worked things out.
Any questions? Nancy, Mike,
I'm prepared to make a motion.
make a motion.
I move that we grant ANR with no determination as to zoning.
Do we have a second?
Who seconded that?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let me sign.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, yeah, I imagine. That looks like a fairly complicated one.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Nice set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for that. It's gotta be here somewhere.
There you
Got
go.
a couple of them.
Yeah, look, Terry left without his, so. No, he's a good musician, also, Jerry.
Is he?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Yep. 2 down.
Wow. 44 Central Square, 1 BILLERICA Road. Don't see anybody here for them.
No, this is just to
Just to sign off.
review and sign off on the decision.
All right, well, I have to sell, I sat that one out, so I'm not going anywhere. Mike, you can handle it.
That being the case, do we have enough people here? 4 out of 7 is sufficient.
Yep.
Okay. All right, has everybody had a chance to look at this? I know I have.
Yep.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Did you see any problems with it? I think it represented what we said at the meeting very nicely.
Fairly generic.
Hmm?
Fairly generic.
Yeah, fairly generic. All right, in that case, I would entertain a motion that we approve the decision as drafted, and we've already approved the
Correct.
the VCOD applicability. That's just
I would make a motion that we approve the decision as drafted.
moved
Second.
and seconded. Conversation? All in favor? Aye.
What is it now?
Neither, well, I said it also.
Okay, now what, well, in that case, let me make sure.
You have 4 people voting.
1, 2, 3, he can vote on this?
I mean, it will be a special permit, so.
It will be a special, okay.
All right.
Then I think we can make the case that this is legit. Okay. We now return control of this meeting to you.
I'm back. Citizens petition, formerly the Glenview. You have something here on that?
So this is just to notify the board and the community. I'd sent an email to the board with some of the initial documents. So this will be scheduled via legal ads and about a notification for your March 25th meeting. And it will be coming in as a citizen petition.
I think it'd be a great thing
Yeah.
yeah.
What, do they
All
plan,
right.
just knock it down and build something else there?
Well, that's what they have to come in front of
Yeah.
us and tell us, but
Yeah, the old building was getting a little tired.
has anybody had a chance to go over the meeting minutes? Anybody have any problems with the meeting
I didn't see anything
I haven't seen anything odd about them.
out of the ordinary.
Vote each one?
Yep,
Move, we approve the meeting minutes of December 11th, 2019?
second, well, I shouldn't do it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I move that we approve the meeting minutes of January 22nd, 2020.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
And,
Aye.
much to everybody's surprise, I move that we approve the minutes of February 12th, 2020.
All in favor?
You need a second.
Yeah.
She's second.
I second.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, good evening. I was just curious if there's any discussion on the rezoning it. Are they rezoning the Glenview parcel?
Are you representing them?
No.
Okay.
We have nothing in front of us.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
It's just a placeholder to let us know it's coming, that's all.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks. Yep.
No, we know as much as you right now.
Nice.
Well.
Or maybe less.
All right.
I move to adjourn.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. You get the record.